You've been told a home is the best investment you'll ever make. In today's economy, that belief can trap you in decades of payments while your cash bleeds out in hidden costs. I'll show you the hard math, the 5% rule, taxes, maintenance, insurance, PMI, HOA fees, and the opportunity cost versus renting and investing. We'll stack them side by side so you see who really profits, you or the bank. There's one mistake that kills your returns before you even get the keys. Stay with me. By the end, you'll have a rent and invest checklist you can use today. Core 1, the scam playbook. Why buy a house fails today. First, here's why the old advice breaks. Rates climbed, prices ran, wages lagged. When you buy wrong, you lock up cash flow for years and lose mobility to chase better pay. The bank gets paid first. You get the leftovers. Here's the anchor, the 5% rule. Add up your unrecoverable owner costs, property tax, maintenance, insurance, and HOA, plus the cost of capital on your down payment. If that total is above roughly 5% of the home's value per year, renting often wins once you invest the difference. The thing most people miss is these costs don't build equity, they're a burn. Let's break those buckets down so you can estimate fast. Property tax is a continual drain tied to assessed value. As value rises, your tax bill can rise too. Renters don't pay it directly, owners do, every year, forever. Maintenance is the silent tax. Roofs age, HVAC fails, stuff breaks. Plan 1 to 2% of the home's value per year over time. Skip it and the house deteriorates. Spend it and the money's gone. Either way, it's unavoidable. Insurance and HOA fees are pure recurring costs. Home insurance protects the asset but doesn't grow it. HOAs charge for shared spaces and upkeep. Special assessments can land without warning. None of that builds equity. Mortgage interest is the early killer. In the first years, most of your payment is interest, not principal. People say, "I'm building equity," but the schedule is backloaded, so equity builds slower than they expect, especially if home prices stall. PMI is a penalty for small down payments. With less than 20% down, you pay extra every month until you cross that equity line. It drags cash flow and delays break even. Opportunity cost is the big one. Your down payment and closing costs are trapped in home equity that doesn't throw off cash unless you refinance or sell. If that money sat in a low-cost index fund, it could compound. That gap matters. Liquidity risk. You can't sell a bathroom to pay a bill. With stocks, you can sell a slice. With a house, you're all in and exposed to timing risk. Transaction friction is real. Selling can cost 5 to 8% between commissions and fees. If you need to move within a few years, those costs wipe out gains. Owning also doesn't immunize you from inflation. Insurance, taxes, maintenance, and HOAs can all rise, and forced savings isn't free. You can create the same discipline by auto-investing as a renter. Let's run clean math next, so you can see the cash flow gap side by side. Core 2, the hard math, clean rent versus buy model you can copy. Decisions about housing feel emotional. Math cuts through the noise and gives you a rule you can repeat in any city. Let's set up a clean model you can copy. You'll swap in your numbers later. Define the scenario. You're comparing a home you'd buy to a place you'd rent that's truly comparable. You need estimated home price, market rent for a similar place, your down payment percentage, current mortgage rate, and your likely time horizon. If you're not sure on horizon, assume it's 7 to 10 years. That's where transaction costs start to matter a lot. Start with the 5% rule as a quick test. Add up unrecoverable owner costs, property tax, maintenance, insurance and HOA, and the cost of capital on your down payment. If that total is above roughly 5% of the home's value per year, renting often wins once you invest the difference. This is a first filter, not a full model, but it's fast. Now, estimate each piece with safe ranges. Property taxes are usually quoted as a percent of assessed value. Use a local percent times the price to get annual tax, then divide by 12 to get the monthly drag. Note that local rates vary a lot, so check your county or city website for a ballpark. Maintenance next. Use a 1 to 2% band of home value per year. Newer builds may lean closer to 1%, older homes trend higher. Don't lowball it. You won't spend the same each month, but set aside a monthly amount so you're honest about the cost. Insurance and HOA. Home insurance has a yearly premium. HOAs, if any, charge monthly fees and can have surprise assessments. Blend those into one monthly line. Condos tend to have higher HOA fees covering exterior items. Single-family homes push more maintenance onto you. Mortgage interest versus principal. Early amortization is interest-heavy. Conceptually, in year one, the majority of your payments go to interest, not equity. You don't need a full amortization table to grasp the impact. Equity builds slower than people expect, especially if prices aren't ripping higher. PMI triggers when you put less than 20% down. Add the monthly PMI until you hit that equity threshold. This extends the time until your payment drops and pushes break even further out. Closing costs matter. Expect 2 to 5% of the purchase price up front. Include that in your opportunity cost because that cash could have been invested. It also stretches how long you need to hold to make selling costs worth it. Now, cost of capital. What could your down payment and closing costs earn in a low-fee index fund? You don't need a precise return. Use a modest expected return range to understand the drag. The expected growth is part of the unrecoverable bucket, while the cash is locked in the house. Build the renting side fairly. Security deposits are temporary and usually refunded. Your true monthly rent is the rent. The key move is to invest the owner-only costs you'd avoid as a renter. The monthly set-asides for taxes, maintenance, insurance, HOA, plus the interest and PMI you'd otherwise pay. That's your investable delta. Now, make it apples to apples. On the owner side, total monthly cash out, mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, HOA, maintenance set-aside, and PMI, if any. On the renter side, rent plus automatic investments equal to the owner-only costs. The difference between these two paths over time is where the results show up. Time horizon is huge. Under 7 to 10 years, transaction friction dominates. Selling can cost 5 to 8% of the sale price in commissions and fees. If you move within a few years, those costs can erase your paper gains. Renting gives you the mobility without that haircut. Run a sensitivity test. What happens if rates drop and you refinance? What if home prices fall or rise modestly? What if rent climbs faster than inflation? You're looking for outcomes that hold under reasonable changes, not a single perfect forecast. The most common mistake is ignoring maintenance and move-in costs. People count mortgage and tax, skip the rest, and call it even. Those missing line items crush early returns. Add them back in, and many wins disappear. Here's your quick win. Plug your numbers into a simple sheet or calculator. If unrecoverables clear 5%, renting plus investing is likely the better track. If they're well below 5% and the price-to-rent ratio is fair, buying may pencil out, especially with a long hold. If the math says renting wins, don't stop there. You need a system to capture the savings or the advantage leaves. That's what we'll set up next. Core 3. The Playbook. Rent and invest strategy that outperforms. You need a plan that turns owner-only costs into wealth. Automation beats the forced savings myth because it removes willpower from the equation. Let's break it down. First, open the right accounts. Use a low-fee brokerage for taxable investing. If you have access to retirement accounts, contribute there based on your tax situation and employer match. Keep fees low. Broad, low-cost index funds are your core because they spread risk and keep costs down. Next, map the cash flow. List the owner-only costs you'd avoid as a renter. Monthly set aside for taxes, maintenance, insurance, HOA, the interest portion you'd pay early on, and PMI if you'd have it. Total that number. That becomes your automatic monthly investment. Set the transfer to hit the day after your paycheck clears. Start with an emergency buffer. Build 3 to 6 months of core expenses in a high-yield savings account. This keeps you from selling investments at a bad time to cover repairs or job gaps. Fund this first, then scale up investing as the buffer fills. Choose your investment mix. Use a simple core of broad equity index funds for growth. If you want to temper volatility, add some bond exposure. Align the mix with your time horizon. Money needed in the next 3 to 5 years shouldn't be all in stocks. Reinvest raises and windfalls. Any pay bump or bonus gets split. A set percent to your auto invest, a set percent to your lifestyle. Lock the habit before lifestyle creep takes over. Tiny increases, repeated, add up. Leverage mobility. As a renter, you can move for better pay or lower living costs without a 5 to 8% home sale penalty. Each move that lowers your rent boosts your investable delta. That compounding continues uninterrupted. Handle risk the smart way. Diversify across funds. Avoid concentrated bets you don't understand. Keep your emergency fund intact. If markets drop, your automatic buys keep going, which lowers your average cost over time. Life changes? You're flexible. New job, new family size, new city, no exit costs to pivot. You can upgrade or downsize your rent without calling a realtor. Your investments stay invested. Now, let's address the emotional side. Owning can feel stable. That's valid. Separate lifestyle from return on investment. If you want a home for life reasons and the math is close, that's a choice. But don't call it the best financial move if the numbers say otherwise. When can buying make sense? Long term, a fair price-to-rent ratio, stable income, and low unrecoverables relative to that 5% guide. Strong reserves and no PMI help. If you'll hold for a decade or more and the math pencils out, buying can work. Watch for red flags. HOAs with a history of special assessments, teaser rate adjustable mortgages that reset higher, thin cash reserves that force you to borrow for repairs. Those are tripwires that turn ownership into stress. Now, you try. Run your 5% test this week. Build your auto invest schedule that mirrors owner-only costs. Set the first transfer, even if it's small. You'll feel the momentum. The point isn't perfection. It's a system that compounds while you live your life. Conclusion. If your unrecoverable owner costs clear about 5% of the home's value, renting and auto investing the difference often beats buying over real timelines. Run the 5% test on your market this week. Build your rent and invest automation so money moves without willpower. Then revisit once a year as rates, rents, and your income change. Subscribe for weekly, practical finance guides so you can make smarter, faster money moves.